Listen to me. You are not here by accident. You didn't just stumble into this moment. You were divinely positioned. And I came to declare something over your life. God has already given you what you need to overcome. I know you've cried tears in the midnight hour. I know you've carried weights nobody else can see. I know the storm has been raging and you've wondered if you've got what it takes. But let me tell you, the very fact that you survived what tried to destroy you is proof that there is more in you than you realize. You are stronger than you think. You are wiser than you know. You are tougher than your circumstances. And everything you need to rise, to conquer, to win, it's already on the inside of you. When life confronts you with a challenge, it is easy to look at what you don't have and conclude that you are not enough. You say to yourself, if only I had more resources, if only I had better opportunities, if only I had the right connections. But the truth is, God never intended for you to lean on what you don't have. He intends for you to trust what He has already placed inside of you. You are not lacking. You are equipped. You are not empty. You are full. Everything you need to fight your battles and to walk into victory has already been given to you. Think of David standing on that battlefield. On one side stood an entire army trembling in fear of one giant. On the other side stood David, a shepherd boy with nothing more than a sling and a few stones. He didn't look prepared. He didn't look qualified. He didn't look like he belonged on that field. But what others didn't understand was that the sling in his hand was enough because God was with him. David didn't need Saul's armor. He didn't need a sword. He didn't need the weapons of a warrior. He used what was already in his hand, and with it, he brought down a giant. That story is not just about David. It is about you, because every one of us has a giant we are facing. Maybe your giant is debt. Maybe your giant is fear. Maybe your giant is loneliness, sickness, or rejection. And like David, you may feel unqualified, unprepared, or unequipped. But the truth is, God has already given you what you need to fight your giant. It may not look like enough to other people. It may not look powerful in the world's eyes, but what you carry is enough because it has been chosen by God to work for you. Too many of us are waiting for something else, someone else, or somewhere else to give us permission to step into our purpose. We say, when I get the right degree, then I'll step out. When I have the money, then I'll start. When people believe in me, then I'll try. But you don't need to wait. You already have something in your hand that is powerful when you put it into use. The miracle does not happen when you get what you think you need. The miracle happens when you use what God already gave you. That's why you can't compare your life to someone else's. You may not sing like them, preach like them, work like them, look like them, or lead like them, but that's not your assignment. Your assignment is to use what you've been given. And when you use what is yours, you will discover that it is enough to move mountains, enough to silence giants, enough to break chains, enough to carry you into your destiny. Think about the times you thought you couldn't make it, but somehow you did. That wasn't because of what you didn't have. It was because of what you did have. You had resilience. You had faith. You had determination. You had a spark inside that refused to let you quit. Those were not accidents. Those were gifts God placed inside of you to remind you that you are never empty-handed. And here's the beauty of it. The enemy always underestimates what you carry. He looks at your sling and stone and laughs because it doesn't look like enough. He looks at your small business, your small idea, your small step, and mocks you because it doesn't look like it will amount to much. But the enemy does not understand that little is much when God is in it. The small thing in your hand is not small when heaven breathes on it. The stone that looks ordinary to others becomes a weapon in your hand when you have faith behind it. So stop despising what you have. Stop belittling your gift, your talent, your calling. Stop saying, it's just this, or it's only that. It's not just anything. It's not only something small. It is the seed of greatness, the instrument of victory, the proof that God has already supplied your needs. And if you would just step onto the battlefield with what you've got, you'll see that giants fall, walls crumble, and doors open. You don't need somebody else's armor. You don't need somebody else's sword. You don't need somebody else's position. You don't need to be like anyone else. What God has placed inside of you is enough. It was designed for your journey, shaped for your calling, and measured for your destiny. So lift up your head, square your shoulders, and declare, I already have what I need. Because the moment you believe it and use it, you will see that you already carry the strength to overcome. There are moments in life when you look at your struggles and ask, why me? Why this? Why now? You wonder if the pain has a purpose or if the trial has any meaning at all. It is easy to believe that hardship comes only to break you, that storms only arrive to drown you, that fire only comes to burn you. But if you look closer, you will begin to see something powerful. Every struggle you've endured has been shaping you, teaching you, preparing you for the destiny ahead. The struggle is not wasted. The tears are not wasted. The fight is not wasted. Every difficulty is equipping you with something you will need on the next level of your life. Think about it. Strength is not developed on the mountaintop. It's developed in the valley. Wisdom is not gained when everything is easy. It's earned in seasons of betrayal and disappointment. Endurance is not formed in comfort. It is built when you have no choice but to keep moving forward through adversity. The struggle is not there to strip you of your identity. It is there to reveal who you really are, because you never truly know the depth of your resilience until you have to endure something that pushes you to your breaking point. Sometimes the very thing you think is breaking you is actually building you. That storm that tossed you around was teaching you how to find balance when life is unstable. That betrayal that pierced your heart was teaching you not to put all of your faith in people, but to anchor yourself in God. That season of lack was teaching you how to manage resources wisely, so when abundance comes, you will not waste it. Every difficulty is a classroom, and every hardship is a teacher. The question is, are you willing to learn from the lesson your struggle is teaching? You see, victory tastes different when you fought for it. Peace feels different when you've had to wrestle through sleepless nights to find it. Joy feels deeper when it has risen out of ashes. Success shines brighter when it has been birthed through rejection. The struggle is equipping you to value what you receive, because what costs you nothing will often mean nothing. But when you've had to endure, when you've had to sacrifice, when you've had to climb with bruises on your knees and tears in your eyes, what you reach becomes priceless to you. And here's the truth: you would not be who you are today without the struggles of yesterday. You may not see it in the moment, but hindsight has a way of showing you how every dark season prepared you for a brighter one. The heartbreak gave you compassion for others. The failure taught you discipline. The rejection pushed you into a new direction. The very things you thought would ruin you became the very things that refined you. Even the fire has a purpose. Fire purifies, fire removes impurities, fire sharpens what is dull. You may not like the heat of the fire, but you cannot deny that the fire is shaping you into someone stronger, bolder, and more resilient than before. You are not the same person you were before you went through the struggle. You are wiser now. You are tougher now. You are more focused now. The struggle has been your training ground. Do not despise the process. Do not curse the storm. Do not wish away the fire, because if you cut the process short, you cut your growth short. You need the lessons of this season to handle the blessings of the next season. If you cannot carry the weight of the struggle, how will you carry the weight of success? If you cannot endure the loneliness, how will you handle the responsibility of leadership? If you cannot be faithful in the wilderness, how will you remain faithful in the palace? Your struggle is not random. It is strategic. It is shaping the character that will sustain you. It is sharpening the vision that will guide you. It is stretching the faith that will anchor you. And one day, you will look back and realize that the very thing you hated became the very thing that equipped you to stand tall. So don't quit in middle of your struggle. Don't throw in the towel when the fight gets hard. Don't curse the journey because it feels rough. Lean into it, learn from it, grow through it. Because the struggle is not the end of your story, it is the preparation for the next chapter. And when you come out, you will not just survive, you will thrive. You will carry wisdom, power, and authority that can only come from having endured the fire. You will discover that the struggle was never your enemy. It was your trainer. And it has been equipping you for everything you are destined to walk into. When you look at your life, When you consider everything you have been through, one thing should be clear: you are still standing. You are still here. You may not have everything you want. You may have scars from the battles you've fought. But the undeniable truth is that you survived what tried to kill you. That alone is proof that you have been built to win. Life has a way of throwing storms at you, storms you never asked for, storms you didn't see coming. Sometimes it feels like the waves are too high, the wind is too strong, the night is too dark, and yet here you are. You didn't drown in what you thought would drown you. You didn't crumble under the weight you thought would crush you. You didn't collapse in the fire you thought would burn you. You made it through. That means something deep inside of you is stronger than the storm, tougher than the trial, and greater than the pressure. The truth is, winning is not just what you do, winning is who you are. It's in your design. It's in your DNA. You were not made to be a victim of life. You were made to be a victor over life. That's why you can't let setbacks convince you that you're finished. A loss is not the end. It is a lesson. A failure is not a definition. It is direction. Even when you fall forward, because every defeat is still working to shape the champion inside of you. Think about everything that was sent to stop you. There were days you thought the depression would win, but it didn't. There were nights you thought the loneliness would consume you, but it didn't. There were moments you thought the pressure would break you, but it didn't. You came through. You didn't come through perfect. You didn't come through untouched, but you came through. And if you came through before, you can come through again. That is the sign of someone who is built to win. There is a resilience inside you that cannot be explained by logic. People wonder how you still smile after what you've faced. They wonder how you still have hope after the losses you've endured. They wonder how you keep moving when it seems like life keeps pushing you back. But you know the answer. It's because you were never built to quit. You were never built to bow down to defeat. You were built to rise, to push through, to endure until victory manifests. Winning is not about never facing trouble. Winning is about facing trouble and refusing to let it define you. A champion is not someone who never falls. A champion is someone who keeps getting back up, no matter how many times life knocks them down. And every time you rise again, every time you wipe your tears and keep going, every time you get back on your feet, you are proving to yourself and to the world that you have been built to win. Don't let the voice of fear trick you into thinking otherwise. Fear will whisper that you're not enough, that you don't have what it takes, that the battle is too hard. But faith will remind you that you've already been through worse and survived. Faith will remind you that what's in front of you is no match for what's inside of you. Faith will remind you that every test is an opportunity for a testimony. And faith will remind you that the fight is not evidence of weakness. The fight is evidence of strength. because battles don't come to those who are fragile. They come to those who are strong enough to handle them. Every time you felt like giving up but didn't, you were proving that your spirit is unbreakable. Every time you chose to keep moving forward when everything around you was telling you to stop, you were proving that your will is unstoppable. And every time you trusted that something greater was at work in your life, even when you couldn't see the way out, you were proving that your faith is unshakable. You have been through enough to know by now that nothing can hold you down for long. Yes, you may bend under pressure, but you won't break. Yes, you may cry under the weight, but you won't collapse. Yes, you may stumble along the journey, but you will not fall away from your destiny. You were not created to live defeated. You were created to rise in victory. So the next time life tries to convince you that you are losing, remind yourself that you have been built to win. You've been built to endure. You've been built to conquer. You've been built to rise higher. It is not just something you do, it is who you are. Victory is in your design, and nothing, no storm, no giant, no setback, no failure has the power to undo what has been built inside of you. Victory is not something you are chasing after. Victory is something that has already been placed within you. You are not trying to become a conqueror. You already are one. The fight you are in is not about trying to prove your worth. It is about discovering what has already been written into your destiny. Before the battle ever started, victory was coded into your DNA. You were created with the ability to rise, to endure, and to overcome. That means no matter what comes against you, it cannot rewrite what has been woven into the very fabric of who you are. The enemy wants you to believe that you are weak, fragile, and powerless. He wants you to see yourself through the lens of your mistakes, your failures, and your fears. But you cannot let the mirror of the past define the truth of your identity. Victory is not something you earn by being perfect. Victory is the inheritance of those who refuse to quit, who keep moving forward, who hold on to hope even when everything around them looks hopeless. You do not fight for victory. You fight from victory. That means you enter every battle already positioned to win. It may not look like it when the bills pile up, when the diagnosis comes, when relationships fall apart, when opportunities seem to vanish, but appearances are deceiving. The reality is that what is inside of you is stronger than anything outside of you. You may be pressed, but you are not crushed. You may be shaken, but you are not destroyed. You may be wounded, but you are not defeated. Victory is in your bloodline. That's why when life knocks you down, something inside won't let you stay there. That's why when you face rejection, you find the courage to try again. That's why when the world says no, something deep inside of you whispers yes. That voice is the echo of victory calling you to rise again. You don't stay down because down is not your destiny. You rise because rising is in your nature. Every time you overcome something you thought would destroy you, you are proving the truth of what you carry. Every time you wipe your tears and keep moving, you are demonstrating the power of victory within. Every time you forgive someone who hurt you, instead of letting bitterness consume you, you are showing that defeat has no hold on your spirit. Every choice you make to keep pressing forward is evidence that victory is alive inside of you. The battles of life are not there to determine whether or not you can win. They are there to reveal the winner you already are. A diamond does not become valuable because it never faced pressure. It becomes valuable because it survived pressure and came out shining. Gold does not become pure because it was never placed in fire. It becomes pure because it endured fire and came out refined. In the same way, you do not prove your victory by avoiding battles. You prove your victory by walking through battles and coming out stronger, wiser, and greater. That's why you cannot despise the struggle. Struggles are the stage where your victory performs. Without a test, there is no testimony. Without a fight, there is no triumph. Without resistance, there is no proof of strength. The obstacles you face are not signs that you are losing. They are opportunities for victory to reveal itself through you. Think about everything you've already come through. There were situations you thought would end you, but they didn't. There were nights you thought you'd never see the morning, but the morning came. There were valleys you thought you'd never escape, but you walked out of them. That is the evidence of victory in your life. And if you overcame before, you can overcome again, because victory is not seasonal. It is eternal. It is not something that comes and goes. It is who you are at your core. You may not feel victorious every day. You may wake up some mornings with tears in your eyes, with heaviness in your heart, with questions in your mind. But feelings do not determine truth. The truth is that you have been created to win. Even when you feel low, victory is still at work in you. Even when you feel weak, victory is still carrying you. Even when you feel like giving up, victory is still whispering, hold on, don't quit, you've already won. So walk with confidence, even in the face of adversity. Speak with authority, even when fear tries to silence you. Stand with courage, even when the odds look impossible. Because you were not made to live defeated. You were made to live victorious. And no matter what comes your way, you can declare with boldness that you will not be overcome, because victory is not something you're chasing. Victory is something you are. It is in your design, in your identity, and in your DNA. So after everything we've talked about, let me remind you one more time. You are not weak. You are not empty. You are not powerless. From the very beginning, God placed inside of you the strength to endure, the wisdom to rise, the resilience to fight, and the faith to conquer. You may have been through hell and high water, but you are still standing. And the reason you're still standing is because you've already been built to win. The tears you cried didn't break you, they cleansed you. The storms you faced didn't drown you. They trained you. The fire you walked through didn't consume you. It refined you. And every time you thought it was the end, it was really just the beginning of something greater. So I declare to you tonight, don't shrink back. Don't quit. Don't doubt what's in you. Lift your head and square your shoulders, because you are walking proof that God equips his people for victory. You have already been given what you need to overcome. When you step out of this place, when you walk back into your home, when you face the challenges waiting for you tomorrow, don't walk like a victim. Walk like a victor. Don't speak like someone defeated. Speak like someone who knows the outcome has already been decided. And the outcome is this: you win. Yes, the road may be rough, the night may be long, the battle may be hard, but in the end, you rise. In the end, you conquer. In the end, you overcome. Because victory is not something you're waiting to receive, it's who you already are. So shout it, declare it, believe it. I've got what I need. I've got the strength to fight. I've got the power to endure. I've got the faith to overcome. And when you walk in that truth, nothing, no storm, no trial, no giant, no enemy will ever be able to stop you, because God has already given you what you need to overcome